Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Queens Lair. I am your host, Kellie Miles, and this is part 2 of our faith in fashion discussion. And so we're going to talk a little bit about faith in fashion and how we can break the mold of traditionalism in our Christian walk. And we're also going to talk a little bit about how faith in fashion can give women a voice. So we're getting ready to bring our guest on right now. Hello, Melanie. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you. So we're talking about faith and fashion, as you know. So before we get into the discussion, though, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do. Just tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie Dash. That is my artist name. I am a worshiper, singer, songwriter, recording artist. I have much music out and on all social media platforms, all platforms actually, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, all that. And I'm on YouTube. I also have my own clothing line, which is Who's Knocking. It's basically in under construction right now.
Yeah.
So it's on hold, but it is out there. I do still sell t-shirts based on Revelations 3:20. Which is who's knocking, as like God stands at the door of your heart. He's knocking at the door of your heart. It's up to you to let him in. And
Yes.
I am an LMT, which is a licensed massage therapist.
What?
Yes.
I didn't know that, girl. You landed on me
Yes,
today. Go ahead.
It's been a blessing to be able to do that. I went from accounting to a completely, totally different field, which is massage therapy. And that has been my platform. God told me years ago when I first started, He said, your table will be your platform. And I didn't
Mm,
exactly know what that meant. But
yeah.
now I do, because I had to break out of my shell. I had to understand, like, just be comfortable with talking with people. I used to always be shy and just very timid and just in this shell. So
Yeah.
it allowed me to break out of that and be who I am. As we
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
continue to grow and learn who we are, it has definitely been a platform to be able to do that, as well as help people and even counsel. Like, that's my side thing that God has in me, because
Really?
I'm
Like
a natural.
counseling?
Well, I'm a natural empath, so I tend to talk. I believe that the table is a place of healing. So whether it's physical healing, it's because we're three-part being. So
Yes.
mind, body, soul. So it's one thing to do a physical approach on people and to be able to help them heal physically, but it's another thing when people hold on to traumas that need
Yeah.
to be released.
Yeah.
So it's also emotional. It could be mental. It could be so many things. And so I welcome people to, if they want to cry, if they want to laugh, if they want to share their story, that is a safe place for them to
Yeah.
do it. And it's a place of ministry. So I'm able to share the gospel, I'm able to share the love of God, or just be a listening ear and just try to help God. It's just all in one.
Yeah,
It's
and
been
that's
a
and that's
blessing.
true because it sounds like a holistic type of healing because
Yeah,
you do need emotional healing. Sometimes we need spiritual healing and refreshing and that physical aspect, and it's all part of self-care. And it all is amazing because that self-care and along the lines of what we're talking about today, it goes with the physical part of it because there's a saying that says when you look good, you feel good.
yeah,
And you know what I mean? And so that still all kind of falls in line with self care, taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally,
absolutely.
spiritually, physically. We have to deal with our whole being from the inside out. And so with that, with the physical therapy and taking care of our bodies and things like that, how does the fashion world, what's your connection and um how does the fashion world have an impact on you as a woman when you're talking about your Christian walk and taking care of yourself holistically? How does that work for you? Like what impact does it have for you?
Okay, so fashion was a thing with me when I was a little girl. I've always loved fashion. My mom would dress my sister and I up in the same outfits. I had a thing with wanting to match everything as a kid. I used to get teased. I used to get talked about. I used to get compliments because I would match my shoes, my socks, and my clothes. Like everything would match, you know. And then I suppose I was always a creative, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like fashion is a form of expression of who you
Yep.
are. You know, you're allowed to play with it. You can be creative. You can be inspired by someone else and be like, wow, that's nice. Or I could take it and make it my own, you know, and that's basically the lane that I went down. I would look
Yeah.
at things and be inspired and then make it my own. And then also, um, it's also like my body type. I dress to my body type, what I think looks better on me. I'm not a pro or I'm not the guru. However, um, I like to, you know, dress appropriately. There's, oh, we can go down a whole road down this way.
Listen, I know that's right. And some stuff that people think is appropriate on them, it may not necessarily be the case, and it might take away from their appearance instead of
Exactly.
adding to it.
Right, right. And that's the thing because today um we look at the youth, you know, we look at fashion and who creates the fashion but these people that are, you know, flamboyant or whatever, you know, and they like create these styles and fashions and they're saying, okay, this is what's in now. This is what's in now, you know, but we don't always have to abide by what is passed down to us from people that are really not of the faith, you know, and that's
Yeah.
where we have to draw a line because, you know, we may want to look nice, but it doesn't mean that we have to show our cleavage or we have to wear, you know, our butts out or anything like that. We want to,
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
being in the faith.
And you
we,
know
you
what's
know,
funny? When I hear you say that, I think about young ladies and how nowadays a lot of the young ladies, they want to dress in ways that gets them attention or to be accepted.
right.
And when they do that, and it's even in our Christian young ladies, we have to stay on them to let them know that you're still valuable and you're still beautiful, even if you're not showing all your boobs and your hips and all of that stuff. You
Yeah.
don't have to show all of that stuff to be accepted, to be loved, and to be appreciated. But unfortunately, the way society is set up, the broken world system that we live in, they're
Yes.
looking at, you, in order for you to be accepted, in order for a guy to like you, you got to have all your stuff out. And that's not
Right.
necessarily the right way, because then you're getting the wrong kind of guys, right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's the wrong attention. And
The
that's the
wrong
thing.
attention.
Yeah. And that's what the mass media is going to give you. That's what the music industry is going to give you. I came out of all girl group, all girl R&B group, and somewhat like of a TLC type group. What there was
Okay. All right, now I need to
yeah,
hear
right.
your little mixtape.
So let me tell you, I will tell you the story real quick. I was the first one of the first girl groups I was in. We went to Giant Records. I mean, this dates us, but we went to Giant Records, and I remember being in the room, and we had on like silk shirts and some pants and stuff. We were fresh, like out of high school,
Yeah.
and you know, so one of the things they said to us, the execs were like, "Oh, you guys sound great. You look great, but next time just dress less." And I was like, wow, like we are only like 17, 18 years old. And I was like it didn't matter our talent. It did. I mean,
Yep.
yes, it matters. And yes, our looks matter, but it really, they were looking at like, okay, well, how can I sexualize them? How
Yep.
can I, you know, sex sell? So how can I get them to sell their bodies and all stuff? And I mean, we didn't stay in it much longer after that.
But talk about that though, because that's the thing, when you have so many people out here under the peer pressure to fit in and do what everybody else is doing, how do you set that standard for yourself and have confidence so that you're okay with standing on those standards and not giving into it and missing opportunities like that? Because somebody would have been like, oh, I'm not missing this opportunity, let me take it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing because when you have, because the topic is faith and fashion, if you don't have faith, well, you can have faith, but it depends on what your faith is in. You can
Yeah.
have faith in the world, you can have faith in satanic things, but do you have faith
Come
in
on.
the Lord?
Right.
So that's going to be the difference maker, is when you have faith in God, he will make you new. So all
Yeah.
things become new. Therefore, your dressing will become new. Yes, I used to dress risque at times when I wasn't saved. I did things. I was never a hoochie mama, you know what I mean? But
Right. Right.
I just wasn't. That just wasn't me. But
Yeah.
still, it was very sexy. Like extra stuff that you probably wouldn't do being saved. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, and there is a difference too. Like you can still be sexy, but not be
Absolutely.
inappropriate. You
Yes,
know,
absolutely. There's a
being a
difference
believer.
between being sexy
Yes.
and being inappropriate.
Yes, inappropriate. You don't have to be inappropriate. You can still be very ladylike and attractive and look good and look nice. But one of the things I was going to say is, with faith, when you come into a relationship with God, the Holy Spirit will prick your heart. He will teach you. He will show you. If you put on that outfit that you had on when you went to the club and now you saved, he might say, daughter, you might not want to wear that. You might want to change. You might want to change this up and do this. He will convict you. You'll
Yes.
feel it. You'll feel that conviction. Like, wait a minute, I don't feel right. Something's
You
not
feel
right.
uncomfortable.
Exactly. So you want to pay attention to the voice of God. You want to pay attention to the voice of truth and not of error, because error is going to come in through the music of the
Yep.
world. It's going to come in through the commercials of the world. It's going to come in through, what they're telling you was hot. If you wear this crop top right underneath of your breast where it stops, like, no, you don't. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Like, you have to ask yourself, like, what am I promoting? You are your
Yeah.
own advertisement. Okay.
That's
So
it.
what are you promoting? Do you want to promote sex? Do you want to promote your body? And then men, for ladies, they'll be drawn to you and they're like, okay, are they drawn to you for your personality, for your what you have to offer, or are they drawn to you because they're saying, oh, I see her body?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you want to be in tune with what God is leading you to do in your wardrobe.
Yeah. Your personal brand. You have a personal brand, and what, like
Yeah.
you said, what are you selling? What are you putting out there? What are you advertising? Because what
Yes.
you're advertising, you're going to attract the type of people who is looking to buy what you're selling. If you get what I'm
Right.
saying. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's
That's
you got to
it.
be careful. But why is that important? Like, when it comes to females, a lot of people, a lot of young women, and even some older women, if we're honest, they deal with a lot of self-esteem and self-confidence issues because they feel like they're not getting something. There's a void somewhere. So why does it matter whether they dress appropriate? Why does it matter whether they, attract certain types of people that, like, why does that even matter? Why is that important for people to dress a certain kind of way? And what impact does that have?
So I would say, I love when women take care of themselves. Like, that's always been a thing. My own father would tell me, daughter, don't you go out that house looking any kind of way. Like, that's came from my dad. He
Yeah, and
always
men
would.
will say that. I've
Yes.
heard men myself say that, yeah, it looks good, and I might hit if I get a chance, but I ain't taking her home. I've heard people say that. I've heard men
Yeah.
actually say, like, I think it's nice to look at, but it's more of like a toy. So I'm not going to bring it home and take it. It's not wifey material.
Yeah. But in the regards of what my dad was saying, he was referring to, like, don't just go out the house with rollers, with curlers in your
That
hair,
too.
with
Yes.
a dolly or whatever, those little bonnets and stuff. He was like, don't leave the house,
Oh,
don't
girl, you
go
about
out.
to start a war. You got some of them people that be fighting for them
Like,
bonnets.
leave it at home in the bed. I mean, in the bathroom, okay? Leave that
Right.
at home. Like, don't go out the house looking like. And so, with that being said, like, I always love seeing women take care of themselves. Like, I would look at them, be like, wow, they're beautiful, or they, their hair is beautiful or whatever. And it's not to say that they have to be all dolled up or with makeup and all this stuff, but just to take care, even your skin, just everything, like
Yeah.
everything matters. Like God said, we are to take care of our temple,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is when God, he says, we are the bride.
Yeah.
Does the bride walk down the aisle with curlers and a bonnet on her head?
No,
Absolutely
not at
not.
all.
He said she will be spotless and blameless. Okay. So why not even take that into our wardrobe, take it into our appearance, and, beautify ourselves,
Yeah.
as far as fashion goes, like, you may be one that, I like urban styles. I like, I like all kinds of stuff because I'm really, I could be creative, and I love to
Versatile.
explore. Yeah, I'm very versatile, but I tend to lean towards like urban styles, especially um because I may not wear, like, if I'm singing, it's easier for me to wear something that's not so high heels because I'll
Right.
be moving around a lot, and it's, maybe easier to just jump around over here and there, in like either a lower heel, a more comfortable stack heel, or stack shoes, like platforms or something like that, sneakers or
Right.
something like that. But still I like to, look nice in doing it, but
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going.
Well, that's all right. We're going to put a pin in it right now anyway, because we're going to come back. I'm loving this conversation. We're going to take a really quick commercial break. And then when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to talk a little bit more about why fashion gives women a voice and how can we break the mold of traditionalism when it comes to faith and fashion in our Christian walk. So we'll be right back. Hi, my name is Kellie Miles, and I am the founder and president of Virtuous Woman Queens Lair Foundation.
VWQL.
And our LISO program, which stands for
Living Epistle, sharing our experiences.
is an artistic movement where we take the arts to the street, visiting underserved members of our community, like those in homeless shelters, engaging them in artistic expression, giving them God's word, using real life scenarios to help them have the tools that they need to deal with personal struggles. If you would like to find out more information or to support our cause, visit our website at www.vwqueenslair.org or check out our Facebook page at VWQL Foundation. You can also send us an email at admin@vwqlfoundation.org. I guess that's easy, right? Thank you so much in advance for your support. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You are watching the Queens Lair. We are talking about faith and fashion. My name is Kellie Miles, and with me is Melanie Dash, and we're getting ready to finish this conversation. So, Melanie, tell me a little bit about how does faith and how does fashion give us women a voice?
Okay, let's see.
I mean,
So
like you said, we're creatives, and so how does
yes.
it you know what I mean? How does it give us a voice?
Okay, well, I believe that you can express, who you are through your fashion. You can be
Yeah.
yourself. It's important to be free. I think one of the things, can I just sidebar, is in
Yeah.
churches, right? We can get caught up in a mold. So we can get caught up in just being told how to dress, everybody should wear a skirt, everybody should do this and that. But I think it's important because everybody has this, right? This is a fingerprint, right?
Yes.
Not, there's billions of people in this world, but I only have this fingerprint. Kellie, you only have your fingerprint. No
Yes.
one else has that. So therefore, like, no one else has anything that you have inside, like, that you can give and express through your way of expression. Like,
Yep.
you are your own person. You are peculiar. You are wonderfully made. Like, there are many things inside of you that you can express, and you can do it through fashion. So it's about being yourself, being free to be yourself under the faith, where God is going to lead you into how to do it, whether, it's going to be feminine or, it could be, you can have headscarves. There's
Yeah.
so many things you could do. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in a box. God is a big God, he will show you how to do it. Some women be like, I don't know how to do this. Ask Holy Spirit, ask him. He said, you have not because you ask not. So ask him if you struggle in that area, like you want to dress better, you want to express yourself, you have access to the Father to be able to ask him and say, hey, I would like to do this, or show me who I am, or show me how I can, express myself through my fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that too, because even God is creative and it has expression. Do you look outside and see the different flowers that bloom,
Right.
the different colors and that they come
Colors.
up, the different designs that they have? I mean, even in the fall, the trees change clothes, okay?
Right. Yes.
They change, the leaves turn into a different color to address the appropriate season of that particular time. And then
Yep.
when summertime and in the wintertime, I don't know how they do it, but they just take their clothes all the way off. It's too cold for me. But you get
Right.
what I'm saying, though.
Yes.
Even with God, he's creative in how he has designed the earth and the layout. There's even different types of grass. Like, I didn't
I
even
know. He
realize that
clothes the grass.
He's right. He closed the
He
grass. So
clothes
it's
the
like
grass.
he's
Yeah.
creative. So if he's creative, why would we think that he's putting us in this traditional box? I mean, and check this out. Even Jesus came to break, when he came down here, he was going to the Pharisees and Sadducees who were stuck in their tradition to break them out. Like, yeah, we got
Yeah.
rules to follow, but I'm trying to get y'all to have a relationship.
Right.
So
Right.
even he was trying to break the mold of traditionalism back then, to see that, because we are all created uniquely. We, like you said, we all have a unique fingerprint. We all
Yes.
we have our own personal brand, and God wants us to function. The Bible says, come as you are. And when it says come as you are, it don't mean stay as you are, as it means to not growing, but it means
Right.
who he's created you to be. Come
Right.
and use that, because that's what he's going to use to bless, for you to do your assignment and bless other people.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
it.
So I think
Yeah.
that is just so awesome. So I guess tell me, like, talk about some of the fashion tips that you might have for the summer. So, like, I know me personally, I don't really like pink and red together. I don't think they match. It's like,
Oh.
I don't think they match, you know what I mean? Or, things like that. Or I don't think you should have on, I don't know. What are your tips? Tell me what your tips are.
You know what? I can't say that I have tips. I don't know. I'm not a big red person. So
Really? And red's
yeah,
my favorite color.
really? Yeah. I mean, I do love all the colors, but I don't buy red a lot. That's just, I don't buy red. But that's just me, you know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
I don't, tips wise, I'll say this because of being an LMT. Summertime, you want to stay away from the flip flops. You try
Oh,
try
really?
not to do,
That's like
because
a staple, a summertime staple, to wear
so
flip flops.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're going to the beach and all, okay, fine. But if you are walking long distances, you're gonna
Yeah.
find yourself hurting.
Even the ones with the little cushion, spongy stuff, even the ones that's soft and
if
gel
they're
like.
if they're fit flops, then they're made different. If you have like a Sketcher or something like that, sometimes they have the arch support. But
Yeah,
I'm
the
just saying,
support.
because I see all kinds of people, they're like, they go right to the flip flops, the very flat flip flop. And
Yeah.
yes, it's easy breezy and it's easy, but let me tell y'all, you gonna have some problems on your ankles
You're
and
gonna mess up
your
your
feet.
feet.
It's gonna mess up your feet. I'm just
You
listen. I can't help but to bring that profession up in here in fact,
right.
because I see it all the time. People are like, my feet. And even, my podiatrist tells me that's the worst thing you can do is wear flip-flops like every day and all around. It's okay by the pool, of course, shower shoes or whatever you have to do. But like if you're walking around on that boardwalk stuff, find some support. So that's a health tip.
Right.
That is a
That's a
health
health
tip.
tip and fashion tip.
Fashion
Oh.
tip.
Yes, don't
You
walk
want to
around
make
with the flip
sense of
flops.
it.
No, but I'm serious. I've experienced it where I've tried it before, but and they really do hurt your feet after a while. You walk for so long, and it's like, all right, this is killing my feet.
Yeah, it's the
Your
support.
heels
There's no
hurt.
support.
What you
Yeah.
call it? The Achilles hurt. All of that stuff just
Yes,
be
yes,
hurting. So yeah,
yes,
that's some good information, good health tip
yeah,
and good fashion tip. So and
yes.
don't wear pink and red. They two different. It's almost
Don't wear pink and red. I can't say I think red. I don't know. I'm thinking like, do I have pink and red? I don't think I do.
but yeah, and I like bright colors in the summertime. But anyway,
Yeah.
so we're getting ready to wrap up this conversation, and I truly, truly appreciate you, Melanie, for jumping on and talking today and pouring out all this great value that you have about fashion and faith. And the one last thing I wanted to ask is just share with the ladies and those who are going to be watching, in your opinion, how can they break the mold of traditionalism in their faith walk and their faith and fashion, as it comes to faith and fashion? How can they break the mold of traditionalism?
Well, I kind of was tiptoeing in that topic just a minute ago and just saying I came from a church where it was only, you could only wear skirts, and
Uh-huh.
when I was there at first. Now it's different, but
Yeah.
and I felt like I wasn't my true self.
Yeah.
I felt like I was following the order of the ministry, right? However, I was clenched, in
Yeah.
my expression, in my creativity. Therefore, it like almost like holds you back from being your true self.
Yeah.
Now that I would say is not good.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
yeah, so in breaking that, you are breaking the mold when you can be yourself, you can express yourself. I am more free now than ever, you know what I mean? And it's tasteful. It's not like I'm free, oh, I'm taking it all off, I'm free. No, no, no. But it's free in a godly fashion. Pun
Yes.
intended.
I see
You
what you
know,
did there.
godly fashion, pun intended. So, but yes, I mean, he will show you, he will guide you, he will lead you, and you will feel the freedom. He said, where the spirit of the Lord is, there is
There's freedom.
liberty, right?
Yes. Liberty.
So we need to be even free in our expression and under the realm of God, like under his direction. So it's just something to think about. I don't know what church you go to, ladies, if that is the type of church, but I'm not saying leave your church, but
Right.
just that's it's something to consider, something to pray about,
Yeah.
to be able to be free in that area as well, and be godly, while doing it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Melanie. I am so excited to have you on. I appreciate you, everything that you've done. And so thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I am just excited and grateful that we were able to have this conversation today. And like Melanie said, just be you. Be your creative own personal self. Just be you. Don't be restricted. God changed the colors of the flowers. He changes the different types of grass that we have. He changes the leaves within the seasons. So just be you and allow God to use you for his own purpose, the way he created you for the assignment he has just for you. So thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching the Queens Lair. Stay tuned for the next episode.